Welcome to Memoirs Podcast, where stories are told to create lasting memories in this digital space that we live in. It's time to be creative and explore the opportunities you have to enhance the quality of your storytelling and to give you time back to enjoy with family and friends.
Okay, looks like I'm having some technical difficulties. Let me check it out. Let me check it out. Um, looks like there's somebody on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. I'm having some technical difficulties. I decided to do something different, and I thought I was actually sharing. Let me see. So I'm sharing Go Brunch, right? And then let me see. I'm sharing Go Brunch, but it doesn't sound like the audio is going. Oh, I think I know what I did. I muted. Yep, I muted that. And it's showing. Let me see. Wait a minute. So nothing's sharing now. Let me try this again. I guess I'm gonna do a test. Uh, so I should be sharing Go Brunch on YouTube. So this is what I want to share. And then that's the Go Brunch. Hey. So then to get audio, I would say that I would have to play this. But it looks like it's not playing the audio because I'm on the same browser. Let me see. Let me see. Facebook.
And I wanted to make sure that I remember not only our legacy, but those who don't know their history are destined and they're doomed to repeat it. Some Baptist preacher, the doors to the church are open. The ushers are coming now. I'm passing the gold plates. I need 25,000 of you all to partner with me to make an investment to the future. What's the website, Isaac, that we're supposed to go to?
Startengine.com/fanbase.
Yeah, startengine.com
/fanbase.
slash fan base. Ask that you all would do it. And I need you to do something a preacher never tells you to do. You ain't never heard this in church. I'm telling you to start a rumor. I need you to tell this everywhere that what Isaac Hayes III is doing is radical and is revolutionary, and we got to protect him at all costs. So do me a favor. Not only do I need you to give, I need you to share this. I need you to please post this. Those of you, take the copy link and then put it in your group threads. The group threads that you are in right now, you got at least 3 of them that's at the top of your phone. Drop me into the phone right now and say, hey, y'all, let's do something. Every year, y'all planning on the same stuff. Let's go to brunch. Let's go to the Essence Festival. Let's go to the winery. This time, let's pool our money together. Let's not buy out the bar. Let's raise the bar and say, this is what it is that we're going to do and how it is that we're going to be forward thinking. After it is that you make this investment, add a title onto your social media handle. If you invest in Fanbase, add this title on your social media handle. Here it is, Afrofuturist. You are a Black person who is living for the future, and you believe that the best of who we are is not what we used to be, but what we're becoming. So as that you'll invest 25,000 of y'all, here it is. That's not even a half, it's not even a quarter, it's not even a third of those who went to the Million Man March. We're not even asking you to go nowhere. You ain't got to meet us at Centennial Park. You ain't got to meet us at the Lincoln Monument. So we're not asking you to buy no hotel. We're not asking you to get on Spirit Airlines. We're asking you right from the comfort of your home that 25,000 of you will be in lockstep with us. And in the days to come, your grandchildren are going to ask you, what were you doing when Fanbase was launched? And you're going to respond, I was watching Netflix. I was watching Hulu. I was in a group thread talking about who got arrested, but I didn't do nothing about the future. Come on, man. Ice Cube said you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. $600. We spent, if you in Atlanta, you spend that on hookah and lamb chops. Come on, don't play with me. If you in DC, you you spend it on mambo sauce. If you in Memphis, you spent it on hot chicken sandwiches. Come on now, don't do this to me. If you're in LA, you did it on Randy's Donuts. Wherever it is that you are, I need you to pull that $600 together and let's make an incredible history. Cornel West said Black people got to stop reciting Black history and start making Black history. This is a Black history moment, and I know y'all are thrown off because you only used to doing Black history in February. Well, it's September, and you're still Black. So I need 25,000 of y'all to help us to do something incredible, something monumental, and something significant. If the next president is Black and they don't have a Black tech or Black economic agenda, we're doing the electric slide backwards. Come on, y'all. Let's move this thing forward. All aboard the love train. You ain't got to get on the midnight train to Georgia. Get on the midnight train to this website, 25,000 of you. Sow a seed of 600, and let's change the world. Isaac, I'm glad to be rocking with you, brother. Anytime you need me, call me Colette. And it don't matter whether I am in Oklahoma or Kenya, I'm going to be there because I'm looking to cash out. This cannot fail. I got 3 kids in college, and none of them Negroes got a scholarship. I need this to work. So, so let's do something meaningful. Let's do something significant.
Man, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Startengine.com/fanbase, everybody. Thank you, Pastor Brian, for stopping in to the investor. Yep. I appreciate you very much, man.
No, love you always for no reason. I see you at the top.
All right, man.
I bless you.
We got a couple of great guests coming up, but I thought Jamal was gonna tell the story, but he didn't. I'm about to mess y'all up real quick. Herb Kelleher, if y'all know who that is, co-founder of Southwest Airlines. Jamal's daddy was the bishop, the AME Church in Dallas. Herb, y'all, I'm about to mess y'all up. Herb Kelleher approached Jamal's daddy about joining the board of Southwest Airlines. Offered him, stop. His daddy turned it down. His daddy was like, I don't know about airlines. That was the second company. I can't remember it. I don't know if it was Blockbuster. That was the second company. Same thing. Jamal said to this day, his mama want to smack his daddy. Why am I saying that, y'all? I'm telling you. Why am I saying that? Because had Jamal's daddy accepted that offer, Jamal wouldn't be worried about the scholarships for his daughters. Because that stock potentially could be 10, 20, 30, 50, $100 million today. This is what we're talking about, y'all. It's what we don't know that's throwing us up. This, all information, I see y'all in the chat. Y'all all keep saying, asking about the investments. Listen to me clearly. Everything you want to know about this investment, just go to startengine.com/fanbase. Y'all asking about the investments, y'all just go to the site. Stop asking the moderators to give it all. It's all there. But what we have to do is we have got to get our people to understand you're not gonna build wealth working on that job, making $40,000, $50,000 and paying your bills. It's not. This is how, in the last 20 years, technology is driving wealth creation in the United States.
We got a guest. We got Tamika Mallory with us.
Tamika Mallory, co-founder of Until Freedom. She joins us right now. Tamika, what up?
What's up, family? What's up? How y'all doing?
We're doing great, man. Thank you for coming to the Investor-Thon. I appreciate you. You've been a supporter of Fanbase, an ally. I appreciate you so much. I want you to give your perspective of where we are right now and why we need this platform and why this platform is important to you.
Well, I think there's, several reasons. First of all, there's very personal reasons. And I think that people ask me why I do civil rights work and why I'm so committed to the movement. And they expect me to give them this big answer that includes all of the people in the world that I want to help. And sometimes I tell them it's real personal for me, my son, my granddaughter, my father, my family, and even me. I want us to be safe and to be protected. And so for me, it's real personal. I listen to Jamal as only Jamal can speak, say some really powerful things about, why we need to focus on building wealth. But he also said that we only have to show for most of our money, bags and shoes, and we fighting over the stolen, the earrings. And let me tell you, I want the bags, the shoes, I want the stole, I want the earrings, and I'm on my way right now to buy out the bar, as he said. And I think we should have all those things, but I also want financial freedom. I also want to make sure that my family, that I am able to leave them something and that they do know my name and that they can remember me for more than just being out in the streets protesting and organizing our people. That is important, but it is also important for us to organize our people to be able to sustain ourselves. I, in my heart of hearts, am an abolitionist. I do not believe in having police and outsiders providing public safety for our community. I believe that we should be providing our own public safety, and that most of what happens in terms of holding our people accountable should be done within the community. But that cannot happen if we do not have an economic engine that will help us to sustain a model, that will help us to pay for what it looks like to canvass our communities, to have the types of programs necessary for our people to be safe, to be whole, and for our people to be educated so that we can get rid of food deserts and all the things that's happening around us that creates the unfortunate circumstances where police are even needed in our communities at all. I believe that our economic freedom is going I believe that our economic freedom is going to be the key towards our sustainability and to us taking and having self-determination and taking into our own hands what we know how to do for ourselves. In every community that I work in, where they have strong grassroots organizations that are doing anti-violence work, I think about Erica Ford here in New York City and A.T. Mitchell and my brother, my son, and so many who do work on the ground in places like New York City, even in Newark, New Jersey, where Mayor Ross Baraka has invested incredibly in grassroots organizing. You can see the difference in the community. You can see where our people are more comfortable to walk into an office and say, I need help. You can see where some of the most notorious young people are turning their lives around and getting the help and the support and the resources that they need. But that is going to come from us being able to take care of us, because we know looking to the outside, looking for other individuals to care about our communities and to invest in our communities the proper way is never going to happen. If we are waiting for someone to come and save us, they have not been here yet. They're not planning on coming. It is us for us, and it's about us. And so, my investment in Fanbase was one of the first investments that I made when I had a little bit of money from a book deal that I received. I put my money into Fanbase, and I'm proud to join other Black folks. In fact, I put my money in because Roland Martin called me on the phone one night and told me I had no choice. And I tell you, it was a good decision. I feel very good about the support for Fanbase, but I also feel good that I had the wisdom to listen to wisdom and understand that if Roland was calling me and giving me a direction, I didn't need to ask him 50 million questions. While I'm not saying that people should not understand Fanbase inside out, as you are thinking about investing, you should do that with anything. But I was able to trust the fact that Roland was going to give me the right info and he was going to put me in the right direction. So hopefully those of you who are listening, that you will believe that today, as you see so many of us who work so hard on behalf of our communities. We are invested in something that we know is going to win. I appreciate you, Isaac. I see you. I see what you're doing for the community. You are the type of person that I want to be invested in. Someone who is courageous, bold, who speaks up against all the suckers out here that's trying to play our communities. You're doing your role, your part, and really holding down your role. And we love you and appreciate you. So I'm Fanbase all the way. And I'm asking all of you who are on here tonight to go out, tell everybody. They say lottie dottie and everybody in your family to invest $600 in Fanbase by going to startengine.com/Fanbase.
Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I sure did.
Awesome.
You did.
I want to bully you.
Well, I mean, but look, one reason I did that is like Tamika's out there on the front lines. And listen, ain't no 401k plan in civil rights work. Reverend Jackson always says that. And so here was an opportunity to support a Black-owned tech company, allow an investment to build and grow. And so then all of a sudden, if this thing takes off like we want it to, like it should, all of a sudden you get a return on that. And so again, this is how wealth is being created. And unfortunately, in all these cases, we do not have an opportunity to get in on the ground floor a lot of these investments, and this opportunity allowed us to do so.
100%. I thank you.
I love y'all.
Appreciate you.
I'm not gonna buy out the bar, but it sounded good at the time because I was trying to do a little play off of Jamal. But I ain't buying out the bar. I'm on a 2-drink minimum and back home in the bed. I love y'all.
See, this is why for me, by not drinking, I don't spend no money on alcohol.
Right.
We know.
Water.
We know. You tell us that all the time. And you don't
You
need
got-
alcohol ever.
All right, Tamika, appreciate it. Good to see you, darling. Folks, go ahead, Isaac.
Next. Go Candy.
Hey friends, what's up? It's your girl Candy. A lot of y'all know me from a lot of different media platforms, but most of y'all know I'm about my business. Let's just get straight to it. And with that being said, over the years, I made a lot of investments. I've invested into a lot of different things. But I would have to say, there's not been many times that I've had the opportunity to invest into a company that has the potential to be $1 billion company one day early on. How many times have we heard people say stuff like, oh, if you would have invested in Apple back in, I don't know, back in the 90s or the 80s, you would have $100 million right now. I'm just making up numbers, okay? I'm just saying, but y'all know what I'm talking about. How many times have we heard that? And we always say, dang, I wish I would have had that opportunity. Okay, with that being said, I am an investor in Fanbase. I got in early, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did. I do think that this company is on to something. I feel like we all know social media is huge, and we all seen different apps blow up crazy, right? And but I have to say, with those apps, I didn't have the opportunity to invest early. And with Fanbase, the opportunity is there. I encourage you to get more information. Find out more about Fanbase. I'm just saying.
We got Kimberly Blackwell rolling.
Kimberly Blackwell, what's happening?
Kimberly,
How y'all doing?
what's good?
I'm glad to be here. Just want to say thank you for having me, Isaac. I was an early Fanbase investor, came in 2021. For me, I was glad that it was mentioned, Roland, and how you talked about Tamika. I started my business right out of college 25 years ago. So I kind of knew that I wasn't going to have the ivory tower 30-year vested fund waiting for me at the retirement. And so I challenge the audience to think about, what is it and how is it that we are looking at financial freedom and future? And so for me, investing has always taken a priority in how I look at creating a legacy for my family and so many others, my community. I bet on a lot of founders. And what I can tell you about Isaac is that I am proud to take this investment in Fanbase. But I also encourage everyone to look at what it is and how it is that you're placing your monies and investments. And so, as Candy mentioned, go out. I'm sure that they have resources that Isaac has mentioned in the sense of understanding the business, what it is by way of growth strategies and plan. You're talking about culture, you're talking about technology. One of the things I liked about Fanbase when I was introduced was really how the monetization opportunities to build and create wealth in a way as an additional stream of revenue that we often and always all need. And I just thought it was, a very innovative and aggressive way to attack the competition. A competition is healthy. We have multiple platforms that we use, but we should also all be using and supporting Fanbase. And so for me, investing is personal. I got involved in investing very, very young. I will tell you, I've made some good ones and I've made some not so good ones. Investing is about risk, and you have to understand anything that you do. And the $600 or more, it's 25,000 people that we're asking to invest in today and beyond. But what I would tell you is that you don't have to just do 600. And what I would also tell you is if you don't have 600, do what you can. No one should be doing anything that if you can't afford to lose it, think twice about it. If you can't afford to lose it. But if you can, because we know that we're using money and spending money, as they've mentioned, in the club and or anywhere else, and a lot of nice accessories. But why not take an opportunity to get into something at, what I don't even want to say startup, because now we have a history of performance. The business is still here. So we know that Isaac and team are doing some of the right things in the sense of where and how they've expanded their product offerings from the initial set. And I'm actually just proud to be a part of the tribe. I think we have to understand too that other communities are so good at supporting one another. So why wouldn't I, when he called me, and I do, thank you, Lord, have, why wouldn't I put money into supporting another business that I believe in, another founder that I believe in, to do the right thing? And what I will tell you is that I sit in a lot of investment communities where folks talk about the deals that have been mentioned, where they put in less than 5,000 up to 25,000. And as was mentioned, they are wealthy individuals. We have an opportunity to do the same. And I encourage you all to go out, look at Start Engine /Fanbase. If you have questions, Isaac, I do encourage you, because if there are a lot of questions in there, we do need to make sure we're directing them to where they can have it and feel good about it and inform, because I know you've already done the work. And then, let's take this ride together, because Lord knows that I am hoping that this is the one that allows me to cash out.
We gonna cash you out. You getting cashed out. You getting cashed out. This is a community effort. Look, man, if we don't own infrastructure, my thing I say, look, man, and this is a conversation that I have all the time. I went through a list of Black-owned inventions, and it just broke my heart that we invented ice cream and we're not Breyers. We invented the alarm system and we're not ADT and Brinks. It's just, at some point, we have to stop and build the infrastructure. If we're not, we're just going to be assisting our culture through somebody else's infrastructure. And that infrastructure is going to be $1 billion trillion asset that creates generational wealth for a bunch of other people that are not us. And it's just, it's time to do that. And if we don't, we do ourselves a disservice. And really, capital is really what separates, all of it. It's hard to get capital. Like equity crowdfunding is really what is the godsend for us to be able to do this. But it's the win is that we all own this company together. Everybody's a shareholder in Fanbase. And by using the platform, you continue to make it grow, and it makes it extremely possible to do that. So I tell everybody,
man, listen, we created scratching in hip hop, and we don't own the turntable company.
There you go.
Again, that's what happens. And I need everybody to understand, while we have been on this live, this story just came across. OpenAI, okay, the company, they have raised $6.5 billion in their latest raise. Now, mind you, the entire U.S. venture capital market is $150 billion. They raised 6.5 billion. So the reason I'm saying that, folks, they raised 6.5 billion. That means that they value that company at $150 billion. $150 billion. Folks, I'm telling y'all, Black people, this is a fact.
And Roland, and I need to say this too, because I do believe in folks understanding what they're investing in, but I will also tell you the game. Because
hold on. We're getting a lot of feedback with your mic. So Isaac, let's mute our mic, so hopefully that fixes the problem. Go ahead.
The only thing I was going to add to that is that oftentimes I get calls on companies I know nothing about. But what the call is, hey, Kim, we have an opportunity, put you on the cap table. Here's what we need from you. because of where it's coming from, whether it's OpenAI, whether it's NVIDIA, all of them, if you got in early, you just go for the ride. You just go for the ride. And that's what happens with OpenAI. And what you also know is that, again, through technology and what we know is happening with how folks are using generative AI and all sorts, that is the future. And here we go back to the main stage and common denominator of tech.
Well, to that particular point there, Joteka Edie, many of us saw her last night on the Oprah Kamala Harris deal, Win with Black Women, started that 4 years ago. Joteka used to work for the NAACP. She leaves the NAACP, goes to Silicon Valley.
That's right.
Joteka got into all types of deals. And Bob Johnson always said this. He said, you have to be in the deal flow. In the deal flow. She got put into deals by virtue of the relationships that she actually built. That's how you build wealth. And again, so what this is opportunity. And let me say this to every Black person, or even non-Black people. Black people, we are America's tastemakers in everything: music, fashion, culture, you name it. When it comes to technology, the data shows it. Black people over-index in iPads and pads. We over-index. Black people, we were foregoing landlines. We were over-indexing on cell phones. We are early adopters of all social media platforms. Folks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vine. Our creativity drove the development of all these platforms. So what we're saying right here is, why in the hell are we going to keep making non-Black people, and listen, anybody can invest, whether you're Black or white, but the point is this here. Why are we going to keep making non-Black people rich as hell with our ingenuity, our culture, our dancing, our singing? How about we actually do that for ourselves? That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Kimberly.
All right, let's go. Start engine / Fanbase.
All right, next up we got Ryan Wilson. Ryan, where you at?
What's up?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How are you, man?
I'm good.
We're getting, I don't know what's going on. We're getting a lot of feedback. I'm not sure why that's the case. Keenan, I'm not quite sure, but just be aware of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, you good?
I'm good. I can hear you okay.
All right, cool.
That sound all right?
Yeah, man. I mean, well, I first want to say to everybody out here watching that Fanbase would not exist without Ryan Wilson in the gathering spot. I say that all the time. He built a community, a membership community for Black people to come together. And some of those first conversations that I had about tech were some members of the gathering spot, one which will be joining us later. I think Barry's around here. I see Barry backstage. We're going to talk to Barry in a minute. And I really bothered Barry, Jewel, and Justin about tech, and they were happy enough to do that. But I'm thankful that Ryan created a community, and he's big about community. And it's really one of the reasons why Fanbase does exist. So I thank you for that, Ryan. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you. You're a Fanbase investor. You were always talking about this. We got some things we're going to work on with Fanbase and in the audio space coming real soon. So, but I'll let you take the floor and share your thoughts.
Well, first, man, all love. I was very humbling, right? Is to be able to hear stories like that. That's what TGS is here for, right? We have to be supportive of one another. And I think what tonight is about is that sort of support, right? We've got to come together. I've listened to the last couple of conversations. And look, I do think it's important that we understand about any business that you're going to invest in, right? It's important to try to understand the fundamentals and what the upside is, right? But there's also something else that we should just be considering. And that's just being just like plainly supportive of an effort that's happening. We're not asking in this case for everyone's life savings, right? We're asking for folks to participate in trying to build continued momentum with something that to Roland's last point, something that we know that we can control, right? So I'm proud to be a part of the effort. Yes, because the upside is something that's interesting to me, right? But I'm even more proud, right? Because I love to watch a company start and continue to scale, and like there's return on my investment just for being able to participate in that part of the process. So I encourage folks, look, we are not in enough deals, but when there's a deal inside of our community with people that are doing good work, that have the same values that we have in terms of like what business can be about, we've got to step up to the plate and make sure that we're doing our part. So look, again, I'm happy to be here tonight, but I'm excited for where this is going collectively. We have the opportunity here in ways that we don't have with a lot of companies to really influence the future of this company. Yes, with our dollars, but also just with our participation. And that's huge. So all in all, startengine.com/fanbase. And you got someone that'll be supportive for the entire run here, because it's genuinely an honor to be able to participate in any way in a company.
Man, thank you for that. I appreciate you. We gotta continue to build and work and build our businesses, but especially in tech, people don't understand, like, we all have the ability to increase the value of a tech startup that we own. A lot of people didn't get to own tech startups. I'm like, man, we need to own these bad boys, you know what I'm saying? And run it up, man. I mean, these companies are $1 trillion companies. And honestly, when I talk to the creators that use these platforms, I don't care what color they are. They really said these platforms don't even treat them well. They don't listen to them. They don't listen to what they want to do. We're in the middle of building a platform. We're building RTMP streaming for gamers so they can have Twitch, right? We're building new functionality in the audio. We're building
For me, I need RTMP to stream Relevant Unfiltered on Fanbase.
We're streaming on Fanbase right now, though. We're on Fanbase right now. We're streaming live on Fanbase right now. I don't know how Ramiro did it. I don't know how the team does it.
But honestly, I think to that point, right? But like, we need to hold Fanbase and you to the same standard that we hold other things to, which is to say that we blow things up all the time and aren't participating in them in any way, right? So again, like, it's important to talk about the upside and the opportunity that exists here, but it also is just important for us to say, look, being able to be engaged is a thing, right? Like that there is return, there's something valuable in that engagement. And frankly, we do that all the time in other contexts. We get very, very, very passionate about making sure that the world knows about the things that we care about. We should keep that same energy here, right? Like, again, you'll make some money, yes, right? But before then, this is going to be a beautiful journey. And that is something that, again, I think we've got to continue to highlight.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I know we'll be able to do that. The Gathering Spot is a large community. We got some stuff that we're going to do in audio I'm excited about. I thank you for being here, Ryan, as always. I appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all. Be well. And everybody, startengine.com/fanbase. And you will see us at the Gathering Spot, especially with all the events that we do. We're doing thousands of events a year. We're going to make sure that we do even more work with Fanbase as these experiences are happening.
Just correct it. Startengine.com/fanbase.
Forward slash
Fanbase. I appreciate you, Mo. Sorry.
It's all good.
I'm old
I
school,
got you.
Mo. That's almost a reflex.
I understand. Hey, we got about 4 minutes left, y'all, in the Investor-Thon. Pinky Cole was on.
Brother, we got a little bit more than that.
No, hold on. Pinky Cole. Well, you told me 8 to 10. Pinky Cole was on. Let's get Pinky back. But my friend brother Hill Harper is with us. Hill.
Hey everybody. Hey, listen, it is it's wonderful to be on. And listen, I am an investor, a very, very, very early investor in Fanbase, proudly so. And I encourage everyone to join me. Join me in investing in this company. I've invested in many companies. Some have worked well and the investments were great. Some have not. That's the nature of investing. But this is a unique opportunity. And there's an opportunity cost to not investing. And think about this. We have to own our own base technology companies. And remember, technology companies evolve over time. They are living organisms. None of the companies that are billion-dollar, trillion-dollar companies, unicorns, are the same company that they started out being. They were funded over time so they could continue to adapt as new technology introduced itself. That's why it's critical that we invest here. I know we have a limited amount of time. That's why I wanted to cut straight to the point and say, listen, any amount of investment matters. And this is critical. And I'm also going to say this because Isaac, I was waiting to say this here. I'm going to launch my Hill Harper fan base page, account, whatever we want to call it. I'm launching it as of this next week coming, so that not only will I be an investor behind the scenes, I'll be an active participant in hoping to draw actual people and eyeballs to the platform. And so that's how we support each other. Remember, Dr. King said, we're all tied together in a single garment of mutual destiny. We got to stop operating in silos in our community. We have to partner collectively. Ryan said it. Other people have said it. This is about collective participation, because when all people are collectively participating, it makes the tide rise for everybody. And that's critical. Too much in our community, we've learned to operate in silos. Get out of that mentality. The opposition operates collectively. They don't have to agree with you. They don't have to agree with each other. And I'll finish with this. In our community, it seems we got to agree. You disagree on one thing, you agree on 9. It's like, I can't work with that. And the opposition, they can disagree on 9 things, agree on 1. They storm the Capitol together. Come on, y'all. We got to support each other. Let's go.
Absolutely. And in fact, Hill talked about the collective. If you go back and listen to or read Dr. King's final speech, April 3rd, 1968, Mason Temple, he said, Black people, individually, we are poor. He said, yet collectively, we represent one of the largest economies in the world.
That's right.
He said, in order for us to move, we have to move as a collective. So when Isaac talked about off the top, 1,000 people contribute, invest $600, that raises the $15 million. Now, you don't have $600, you do less. I am a living example of what happened when Black folks operate as a collective. We probably had
joining my room since day one. We appreciate you. You guys know what this is about. But if you're new to Fanbase, we welcome you as well. We're super happy that you're here, and we hope of Spring 128 here in Fanbase. Hopefully, you are as excited as I am. Let's take a little break and let's see if you have any questions for me or anything you would like to share. I'm going to go through the chat from top to bottom. What's going on, guys? Man, I haven't seen some of you there. It's great to see you. Mr. Larry's moving up the Fanbase ladder. I love that. Congrats on episode 128. Well, indeed, it's more than 128. So we actually, you know, we started the sprint formal accounting when we started raising the first dollar for Fanbase. Before then, it was just four of us. And while we have a way of grouping, we were not as formalized. So I would say that, we're probably close to a 200, but 128 is a number. 256 weeks of nonstop development. All right, let's see what else we have here. What's up, OG? How are you? Hey, Terrell, how are you? You came from TikTok. Welcome, welcome. Let me give you some love. Let me ask you, Terrell, how much money have you made in TikTok? How long have you been in TikTok? How much money have you made in TikTok? I'm curious. All right. Let's see what else we have. I'll come back to that question. Yeah, someone said my phone tends to run hot when I'm in a space with many holders. Any insights? Yeah, so we are aware of that. Let me explain that a little bit. So Fanbase is a pretty robust ecosystem in the sense that you have all this different functionality inside one app. You have audio, you have flicks, you have stories, you have a lot, right? And as such, one of the challenges that we have is there's a lot of functionality, there's a lot of media handling. What is the most efficient way to handle that so we don't compromise quality of consumption and also the energy and the resources that it uses on your phone, right? That's an ever going conversation with dev leadership, right? So what happens and what we are aware is sometimes when you are, especially on, again, when I say older devices, don't get offended. I'm not talking that your device is old, but as you know, phones change drastically twice a year, right? So if you're using a iPhone, 12 or 14, that's already an older device. And with those, we do recognize that when you have busy rooms and there's a lot of stuff going on, there might be higher than usual resources being used in your phone, hence why you might see in some, heating and so on. We are aware of that. And the plan to tackle that is as we continue developing or redeveloping a lot of these things, we put as a formal requirement, as a layer within our refining, to always look at how can we improve resource consumption within that feature. I'm going to give you an example. I mentioned that we are working on content creation simplification. If you think about it, content creation is basically grabbing media from your phone, uploading it, right? That's already resourcing, sorry, it's already using resources, data, right? CPU, and then that it's being catered to another user through a feed, right? So how the user sees the video, sees the image, also consumes resources. So as we are working on this media, as content creation simplification, we are looking, okay, you know what, this is our chance to also make sure that we can improve the way the resources are being used, right? Now, we will get to audio, just like everything else. We do have an intention to revamp audio even more. Okay, that's in the roadmap. And as we do that, I can guarantee you that we're going to be looking into that as all these interactions happening. Again, where is the balance between give me everything or give me some, but then don't use all the resources from my phone, right? It's a constant challenge, but we have a pretty good idea how we can improve that experience. We're aware, and I think we're going to get to improve that experience for sure. Okay. Let's see. So look, what can you do to bring dark mode, and what can I do to get more creators to come to this platform like I did? Thank you very much. So I mentioned dark mode. I think this question was right before I talked about dark mode. We are working on dark mode. Dark mode is in the development pipeline. It has been approved. I looked at all the prototypes. It looks amazing. So it's happening. And also, believe it or not, dark mode will also help with what I just told you, the resource consumption as well. So it's all tied, but dark mode is coming. And as far as what can you do to get more creators to come to this platform, I always say the best thing that you can do is create content, share content from other supporters as well. Talk about what you love about Fanbase. Even if you're a creator that, the minimum to get paid in Fanbase is $5. But even if you make the minimum, share that you made money. That by itself, it's, more than what 80% of creators out there can make. A lot of creators, or even those that even consider creators, they've been in other platforms for many, many years and they made $0. So even when you get your first lab, I would share it. Sharing is the best form of letting everyone know what Fanbase is about, and come and join the community as well. All right. Let me see. Shout out to yes. I didn't know that was autism awareness. Definitely love that. Give some love to that. Thank you. Thank you. Rama, totally unrelated to tech. But can you tell us anything about what to expect from InvestorFund? Oh, okay, thanks for asking that, because I was going to talk about it, but now that you ask, yes, I can definitely. What I can share from InvestorFund, we actually did this last year as well. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, this crazy world that we live in, right? There's instability at every level. Even in the social media, we see all these giant companies, potentially about to buy a platform like TikTok, and we see all these entities using social media as a tool to drive agendas, right? And things are shifting, and they're not necessarily shifting towards the right side. And again, that's relative, but we are seeing that this is a great moment to bring a lot of subject matter experts, people that really care about the community, that really care about how things are progressing today and what might happen in the future, to get together and talk why it's important to own our narrative, to be able to be in a place where you're not being shoved information, or you're being shoved an agenda, right? A place where you can truly be yourself without limits, right? That's what we live by. And we're going to be having a lot of great conversations with different people. We have some surprise appearances. Obviously, the idea is to help drive and close the race. We're not far away from closing it, but we're also going to have a few surprise announcements as well. So that's as much as I can tell you. So if you have not heard about it, or you haven't pre-registered yet, let me see if I can share the link here. But if you go to our socials, you'll be able to do that as well. I definitely recommend you to pre-register. The Investathon will happen on October 8th at 8 p.m. And it's going to be a really, really good one. If you participate in one of these events in the past, you know what I'm talking about. But this one, I think, is probably one of the most important times in our life, and this comes at the right time. So hopefully you'll be able to join, you'll be able to participate, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of conversations right after that, right after that event. Okay. Let's see, what else? What keeps you up at night as a CTO? Your emails, Gary. You send so many ideas, man. You don't let me sleep. Nah, I love it. So what keeps me up is that I know what we need to do to get where we want to get, to really let everyone have that aha moment where they say, "Oh, this is what Fanbase is about. This is what Isaac, Rahman, they all been talking about. Now I get it." And the reality is that to get to that point, it requires a lot of sacrifice. It requires a lot of resources. So what keeps me up at night is how can we get there with what we have and where we are today. It's not an easy journey. It's a tough journey. So, when you can see it there, you can. I won't say the end of the road because this is a very long road, but you see it and you know what you need to be doing it. But you have these resources, so you got to choose battles and you got to choose priorities. And that's what keeps me. I know it's a little bit generic, but that's what keeps me up at night. And you know, uh, we always revert back to, okay, what's the biggest value we can give to creators so they can be closer to making money, and let's continue that path. Let's always think that way first, and that's how we continue building until you know we have what we need to build this. But I don't sleep much, to be honest. My friends make fun of me. They say that I sleep standing up, but when I try to sleep and I don't sleep, that's what keeps me up at night. So I love that question. All right. Look, Terrell, I saw your answer. You said you made not a damn dime on TikTok. See? Look, if you look on your wallet, you probably made more money. If you go to your profile, then go to the upper right-hand side, click on that wallet icon. Look, I bet you made more money here already. All right. What's going on? Let's see. I'm going through some questions. If you just joined, I presented earlier what we were working on Sprint 128. And I mentioned that next week we have a pretty significant release that is going to bring a brand new notification infrastructure, quicker, better, more control for you as well, so you can decide what you want to be notified on, and a lot of other little surprises. We'll analyze and we'll break down notifications, assuming that it goes live before next Thursday, in our next Thursday Tech Talk, so you can make sure that you don't miss anything on all the work we've done. Okay. Question: any way to have the profiles possibly stay in the order they were brought up on stage? Profiles seem to move around from time to time. Yes. So let me explain you why that happens. There is a technical explanation. So every time you join this audio room, obviously you require a connection, right? An internet connection, regardless if it's through your 5G, 4G, or if it's Wi-Fi. You require a connection. The moment that you lose that connection is the moment that there is a cut in that communication, right? So we do actually have rail guards for different type of cuts in that communication, right? For example, if I were able to lose my connection right now as a master moderator, the room will not be closed, because we actually said every time the master moderator suddenly loses connection because something happened, regardless of what happens, and it wasn't manually triggered, wait 5 minutes, let them recharge the phone or do anything so they can come back, right? So we have put all these small rail guards to handle these, I call them micro cuts on the communications. Now, unfortunately, sometimes those micro cuts are milliseconds, right? So you think you have, 4G or 5G or Wi-Fi, but you don't understand how many times there are packages that get lost and you lose that connection for a millisecond. Right now, the way we build this is hypersensitive to those micro connections for good reasons, but it also plays against it when it comes to the animation of where you see those circles, right? So that's the technical explanation of why you're seeing sometimes they're moving, because what it means is sometimes as you're speaking, even though you might think that you don't have a disruption on the communication, you do have a minor one, and that's why the bubbles move. Now, we have a solution. There's many things that we can do about it, so we're aware, and I'm hoping as we revamp audio in the near future, I mentioned before that we're thinking about bringing new stuff and new technology into audio. We are definitely going to be tackling that, because believe it or not, that also plays a role in how many resources it uses on your phone. So when you're looking at an app and you see a lot of movement and animation, that uses resources. When you see something static, that doesn't use as many resources as well. So again, these are variables into how we can improve not only the experience, but also things such as the resources that your phone is using. Okay, but we're aware. See, this is an example of what keeps me up at night. I know exactly we need to work on this. I know how we could solve it, but we can't get there yet just because we're still a small team and we got to choose priorities. So there you go. Let's see. You might have spoken on this, but how is the music? How is the music mode for Fanbase going? So thanks for that question. I'm not sure what you meant by music mode, but I'm assuming that overall you're asking about, okay, where are we with music, right? And I think it's a great opening topic. So we are huge believers of music. I mean, look at the founder and CEO, Isaac Hayes III. He comes from the music industry, and we're big believers in that. We actually used to have music in Flix for those that have been with us for quite some time. And when you bring music, there's a lot of things that you need to contemplate, from licensing deals, copyrights. You know, a lot of times they want to look at your revenue model and they want to cut off your revenue. It's a really complex one. Luckily for us, one of our advisors is someone that did this work for TikTok at the time, Bill Campbell, great guy. And he was able to help us get the first phase of music in Flix. Unfortunately, the partner that we were using it didn't work anymore, and then we took it out of Flix. But we said, hey, rather than bring music as part of one vertical only, I think the next time we bring music has to be in a way that really differentiates Fanbase from the rest. And so we do have a plan on music. When are we going to bring it? I hope it's as soon as possible, but it also depends on closing this race because it does cost a lot of money to bring music. But what I will tell you is that we definitely want to bring it in a way that also empowers and supports independent artists, independent creators in music as well. And one of the things that I love about Fanbase is that when you bring a feature, that feature doesn't serve a purpose within that vertical. So for example, if if you put a piece of content, an image, right, on media posting, you can do so much more with that. You can open an audio room and talk about that image, or you can, you can cross promote that across all the different verticals. So as we bring music, we want to make sure that we do it across all the verticals because we see the value and how you as a creator can use it. And in fact, if you notice, when you minimize this room, you're going to see that not long ago we redesigned how the audio bar looks like. So the reason why we redesigned the way we redesigned it has something to do with what I just talked. So a lot of times, as we might not be able to do the full thing, we start preparing ourselves for the full thing as well. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. So I'm going through some of the questions here. Is the Fanbase app compatible with iOS 26 before I update to it? Yes, it should be. We started late last year. Our iOS team did an amazing job on revamping the architecture. And part of that is making it so as Apple continues launching all these new releases, we don't have to re-architecture things. So the latest Swift UI language that Apple has make it very scalable. So the answer is yes. Of course, again, we have a very robust ecosystem. So I don't discard that under that operating system, there might be something that might not work. So my recommendation is if I can guarantee you for sure that if there's something very important that needs to be addressed, will be addressed right away because a lot of people will start upgrading it. So if you want to go into iOS 26, go ahead and do it. And you might be able to help us if you identify something that we might be missing. So, all right, I see Brittany saying, what is the biggest change coming along with the algorithm update? What will it do? So, I love this question. Oof, there's so much we can talk about it. Today, we actually had a conversation with our marketing team, our leadership team. And, sometimes when you have something that is so technical, the challenge is how do you build the true story behind this, why we're doing this, and where are we going with this, right? And I think the algorithm is one of those hyper technical things that we've been working for. And we want to be very precise on how we tell the story of why we build So if you are an existing Canadian user that always wanted to invest in Fanbase, I recommend you to go ahead and start doing it, because we're going to be opening it up to everyone. And again, it could be late. So thank you, Danny Marie, for reminding that. But we're super excited because we have a lot of Canadian users in our community that they've been wanting to do this for quite some time. All right. Let's see what else we have. So if you want to upload stories, you can go to the, I'm seeing some of you talking about that, upper left-hand side, and you click on the plus and you can upload stories from there. Okay. The content simplification will also give you other ways of creating that as well. So that will improve that experience even more. Okay. Someone asked, can Fanbase have shopping links similar to TikTok Shop? Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to bring commerce into Fanbase. It's a pretty significant feature that we want to bring. It's not just plugging in Shopify and be done with it. But we definitely have been talking about the Fanbase Marketplace as a way, well, as another revenue tool for you guys as well. So definitely considering it, and it might come sooner than what we all expect. Okay. You're welcome, guys. Sorry, I'm still going through some of these questions. Some great questions, guys. It's almost 6 o'clock. What? Let me see. Yeah, Duran, you know what? If someone wants to hack try to find workarounds and everything, they'll find a way sooner or later, right? But those are good problems to have, because that means that you're growing enough where people are starting to do that. So I still remember, this is crazy, when we first started Fanbase, we had some creator growth hackers that they would have literally 10 different phones and would try to create 10 different audio rooms. So you will always find those that are trying to hack the system somehow, and we'll address those as they come in. When we'll eventually have carousel. So I did mention that we have the content simplification improvement coming up before the end of the year, and that's key for us to be able to bring something like carousel. So when we started thinking about carousel, we started refining it, and then we realized that if we were going to be bringing carousels with the way we have content creation today, we were probably going to be trying to take shortcuts, and we didn't want to take shortcuts. We wanted to do the creation experience as seamless as possible. So that's why we had to get this done first, which we are now finally. And hopefully by the end of the year, towards the end of the year, you will hear me talking about carousels. So, all right, let's see. What else we have here? Oh, Marshall, we're something that I didn't mention is we're also working. If you guys do me this favor, you guys are here always. I know that you guys know, if you guys run into a bot, a fake profile, best thing you can do is report it, because we're actually doing something very, very interesting and cool about that. We started this week, and I think you're going to start seeing some improvements. But the more you help us report by crowdsourcing this, the quicker we can get there. Okay. Will Fanbase ever allow YouTube Shorts for creators? Well, we are moving towards that. It won't matter the type of format that you have. So the answer is going to be yes. Now, will we integrate within Fanbase Plus? Not sure. Let's see. As a follow to my question, how do we get YouTube playlists to work in Watch Party?